Hey guys, it's Bruce, 51 NAPCO. Okay, here's an update on what I got going on. I got the 51 jacked up, the front end torn apart, and I've got the brakes. I just have the whole brake assembly. The cool thing about what I'm having to do, I didn't have to take apart any of the brake mechanism at all. I just disconnected the backing plate from the hub and the spindle, and just set it up right there, and it's good to go. So anyway, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this surface right here is the stock angle that the NAPCO was originally 50 years ago. Well, it's about 3.5 degrees positive caster, or not caster, camber. So each side is about 3.5 degrees positive camber, and I want to get that to about 1/2 degree. That way I won't wear the tires out. And more modern trucks, that's about where they're at. And plus, this is going to be driving at highway speeds, not, in the back 40 on dirt roads. It's going to be driving on the street. So anyway, that's what I made those shims for. Anyway, so that's all taken apart. And so what I'm going to do is just eyeball and get an idea of the angles that the shims need to be. Here's the shims that I made, or actually I had them made at the machine shop. As you can see, they were very hard to make. The holes didn't quite line up, so I've had to tweak them a little bit. But anyway, they're thinner on the top than they are on the bottom. And let me just take you over here. So basically, they go on like that. So that's where the change in the angle happens. So anyway, but right now I didn't have them when I made them. I just had them make them, and I wasn't concerned with the angle. Now I'm concerned with the angle, and I need to dial them in to make them correct. So what I'm going to do is, and this one is the right hand side one, and it's actually only about 1/2 degree off so far, or still. So I got to get about 1/2 degree. I have to get about 1 degree off of this one. That way it'll make it about 1/2 degree positive. Then this one is the driver's side, and I've already filed it down some. I got to clean it up, but I still need to get about 1.5 degrees out of this one. And what I've done is I got a belt sander here, old-fashioned belt sander I got from my dad years ago. So I'm just going to put that on there, turn it on, and just be very careful and do it a little bit at a time and get the 1.5 degree and the 1.5 degree out of those, and keep going from there. Anyway, I'll give you an update when I get farther along. Okay, now this is one thing that's kind of screwed up about the situation that I'm in right now and what I got to work with. If you look at the concrete, it's cracked, probably because of earthquakes and the house settling and everything, but I'm looking at probably a good 1 degree off on just the way the concrete's sitting, because it's just this one top piece, and I did measure it with the level. It isn't quite level. It's close, but anyway, so what I'm trying to do is figure in that a little bit of degree of a bend in there, or not bend, but slope. So anyway, what I have is I've got a level connected to the front end on both sides, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to line it up. Let me see where the lens is. Okay. I'm trying to line it up with the air gap in between the level, the outside of the level, and the inside of the tire on the back. And if you can see, I'm going back and forth on this one. It's pretty close to being dead on. Maybe a teeny smidge of positive camber. On this side, you've got quite a bit of positive camber. I'd say at least a degree. Or maybe a degree, okay? So, but then you got the concrete in there. So, when you take the concrete out, then I'm looking at maybe a half a degree of positive on this side, and probably a half a degree of positive, where's my finger, on this side. So, but I think that'll be good enough, and it's as eyeball close as I can get. What's interesting about it is, I used the driver's side shim on this side to get it to that closeness. Haven't even used the other one. And then on the driver's side, I don't even have a shim. So I'm thinking that it's pretty close the way that it is now. So I'm going to put it all back together again and see how it drives. And the main thing I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get it so I can drive it down the road at least 45 miles an hour without it speed wobbling on me, so I can get it over to an alignment shop and have it done correctly. So, I mean, it just takes a little bit of dialing it in to get it to that degree. And I'm sure it's the way that it was set up. You know, because I just threw it all together when I rebuilt it and didn't measure anything. You know, I just wanted to put the pieces together at that point, because that's the point that you're at when you're at that point. Now I'm at the point of getting it all dialed in. So I think I'm pretty close now, and so I just need to get it driven, you know, hopefully it'll drive good now, and I can drive it down to an alignment place. And if I can get up to 45 or so and just drive along, or, you know, this might even fix it enough to drive freeway speeds. And so, but then I still need to take it in because I really want to get it dialed into really perfect. So I need to get it into an alignment shop. Anyway, so I'll just press on from here. Okay, guys, move the truck back in the garage. I did those other adjustments, the camber adjustments. And there was no change. And matter of fact, yesterday I had a buddy come over, and he wiggled the steering wheel for me, and I haven't really been able to do that at all underneath the truck. So I laid under the truck and I looked at everything while he was moving the steering wheel, and both ball joints were completely, you know, well, not completely worn out, but they're worn out. So I need to get, that's the issue, and it coincides with what I've seen on the internet with the other straight axle vehicles that have this shimmying problem or castering problem, like a shopping cart or a gurney when you push it too fast. And what it usually is in Jeeps is that drag link that I've talked about in a couple other videos. But in this, I'm pretty sure it's those ball joints. And it's, you know, when they're both loose, they're, you know, they create a certain amount of play in the entire, you know, toe of the vehicle, and it just starts a chattering going on, especially when you go over a bump. And when they're worn, there's no changing it. And and the last time I drove it, that's one of the things that I noticed. I changed the camber a lot and also on both sides, and the truck drove basically no change at all. And that's kind of what I was hoping, but I wasn't really anticipating, because I was hoping that the camber wouldn't change the drivability of the vehicle that much, and I don't think it does. And it just leads me to believe that it's the ball joints. And the other thing with the ball joints, as a matter of fact, here's the NAPCO tie rod. And I forgot what I was going to say about the ball joints. But anyway, when I first bought the NAPCO stuff 15 years ago, I knew these ball joints were bad. But they're the only ones that I have, and they're the only ones that I can find. And that's kind of what I wanted to finish this video off with, is trying to ask out there to everybody to see if I might be able to know of somebody, possibly somewhere, that might be able to get me some of these, or know of a stock number or part number or something. I'm going to set this down on the table, and I'll show you exactly what I have here. Okay, here's trying to make a little bit of a video about these ball joints. These are specific to this NAPCO tie rod end. The tie rod ends are both 1-inch thread diameter. And here's the number on both ball joints. It's 16SV155-F. Okay, I'll go over here to this one. Different castings, but here it is again. 16SV155-F. Okay, I had a discussion with Mrs. 51 NAPCO about this. The S right here, it looks kind of like it might be a 5, but I think just comparing this one and the other one, that's an S. Okay, you look over here on this one, and then also these are 5s right here. That's different. That's an S, and those are 5s. And then you look over here again. Those 5s are different than that. And I'm pretty sure that the F is for female. That's one of the issues with these. Okay, now as you can look at the thing, it's just a standard looking tie rod end, but it's 1-inch thread. And this one on this side, this is the smaller one. This one, it looks like I might be able to find these. This is a female ball joint, and it's 1-inch threads, and it's 16 threads per inch. Anyway, and this one over here is the hard one. This one is a 1-inch thread with 12 threads per inch. And the 12 thread per inch one, I cannot find anywhere. And I cannot find this part number anywhere. So this is what I'm looking for. And I'm also looking for maybe a possible other solve, like maybe getting something that's just as heavy duty modern, today's, standard, and re-threading the ends of the tie rod, which would be the last scenario that I'd want to do, because that would be altering the historical value of the tie rod. So anyway, that's my dilemma. So if anybody can point me in a direction to get these, those are the part numbers, and they're both 1-inch threads, female. One of them is a 16 thread per inch, and this one over here is 12 thread per inch. They're both right-hand thread. To have more adjustability in the toe, you got a rougher adjustment over here and a finer adjustment over here, and also you're going to have in-between adjustments, depending on which side you adjust. So anyway, so I'm looking for those tie rod ends. That, I believe, is the only thing left to get this thing drivable. So that's what I got going on, and I don't think that there's anything. I think their engine's running good. I got a little bit of stuff out of the transmission, so it's not leaking out of the filler tube anymore, because the vent was clogged a little bit. Other than that, if I can just get these tie rod in, if I can find them or figure out a fix for the tie rod ends, I think this thing will be 100% up and running. Anyway, I also wanted to just give a shout out to everybody out there that's watching my videos. I really appreciate everybody watching. And thanks for the new subscribers. And hitting the thumbs up or just commenting. I really appreciate the comments and also the help. If anybody can help me get these tie rod ends, it'd be awesome. Anyway, till the next update.